Welcome to Transatlantic Wrestling Talk. I'm your host, Andy, and as always, joined by my co-host, Dale. How we doing, buddy?
Hey, Andy, welcome back. Merry Christmas. Hope you're feeling better. Happy New Year. We're going to bring this in here, and I'm going to try and bring this in with a little bit more microphone-ish and a little bit more of a hairstyle and some headsets and kind of looking all professional. There's been quite a few changes for you and I here, so I figure, you know what? You should just take it away because I think that we should guide with the new head studio that you have there, correct?
Yeah. All moved housemate, and it's my new abode at the moment. I still haven't got a studio. I'm actually in the bedroom at the moment, but I am in the process of building a nice little man cave in the back garden. So, I'm going to be starting it shortly, so should be good. But anyway, January 1992, Royal Rumble season. That's where we're at today, aren't we, my man?
Listen, you and I, the first thing we jumped on was, hey, we're doing these monthly things. We're going with 1992 because the Royal Rumble took place in every January. Most of the time it takes place in Januaries, I believe. And the best time, the best Royal Rumble in our eyes, just for star-studded power, we're not going to really give it away, 1992. And to open that up, we have the wonderful team of the Orient Express coming out.
Do you know what? When I was watching this, I was laughing my head off. It was like they were just a proper. Again, this is a time when every tag team had a fiend, and no matter what it was.
Yep. Yeah. And every stereotypical Japanese tag team came out with that chopstick and gong and the
and they had
every single one.
And they had the typical Japanese manager of Mr. Fuji, who was actually Hawaiian.
He was a very he was very sneaky heel. You Hulk Hogan, you come in here with that red hot. It's very that sinister foreign heel. It just, I think the last one was Kenzo Suzuki was like probably one of the worst and last offenders of that.
I know. Do you know what? I was about 20 when I found out Mr. Fuji wasn't actually Japanese. I'm 36 now, so it wasn't just yesterday, but it wasn't far off.
But still, though, they kept kayfabe for that long, so congratulations on that.
Well, just a quick one before we jump into the Royal Rumble, because something very important happens in the month of January in WWF at the time that I think really needs addressing. Can you tell me what that was? Do you remember?
Besides the winner that we will disclose 30 years later, hopping in here.
Yeah, we wish. Barbershop?
Yes, it did take place. They will recap that too. And probably one of the most synonymous heel turns ever and breakup stories ever. A couple years prior, you had Rick Martel leaving Strikeforce with Tito and very unceremoniously, but just walking away and saying, I'm not dealing with you anymore, Tito. Arriba. And, instead we had Jannetty getting thrown through the barbershop window. But as
and don't forget as well, Hart Foundation, as you see the new Hart Foundation who fought against the Orient Express, there was no kinds of fuse with them either. It was just up them apart.
Look, Brett became intercontinental champion, ended up facing the Mountie, which will be recapped later on, faced the Mountie at a house show, I believe.
It was
a live event. Yeah, and that didn't really take place too much. That's debatable on how we could put that, but they actually televised it on the pay-per-view, and they said Roddy Piper came to the defense, so the Mountie will definitely be facing Piper for the Intercontinental belt, which I guarantee you Roddy Piper did not ask for at the time. But going back to the opening match, though, you said that the new Hart Foundation came out, and we're talking about Jim Neidhart and the Rocket Owen Hart come out, and let's face it, it's a great match. I think that they broke a lot of different rules with terrible tags, but this is just an Owen Hart showcase.
Yeah.
This is what this is. I mean,
I think also in this match as well is it does show the limitations of Jim the Anvil as well. I feel in this fight, he was so bad.
Even in that outfit too.
Yeah.
Which I do believe that outfit is the original Hasbro figure. So with Jim Knight, with Owen Hart too. But yeah, it's just all Owen, and give it up for Saito and Pat Tanaka as well. Yeah. I mean, Tanaka they went against the Rockers, I think, the year prior.
They did WrestleMania.
What an amazing match. Amazing match. No, I thought it was the Rumble.
WrestleMania 7, wasn't it?
No, I think it was at the Rumble. Oh,
let's just check this out.
I would just also like to point out that Andy is freshly shaved today. He's got a good beard. He's got the pandemic beard, but he's actually well groomed. So do not adjust your broadcast systems, folks.
That's a little, well, as I say, I'm still trying to get over this bloody COVID, but
the coof.
Yeah. Rockers versus the Orient Express.
We're getting proven wrong here, folks.
Royal Rumble 1991 it was, yeah.
All right, I'm going to do a Barry Horowitz right here.
Let me just say, I'm sure they were at WrestleMania 7 though as well.
Oh, there was definitely another match. But anyway, Orient Express.
It was WrestleMania 6. I do apologize.
Okay. All right. So we're both right. I'm going to give you points on that. So once again, great match. Owen Hart, showcase for him. So yeah. What did you think of the match itself?
I thought it wasn't too bad. As I say, I think the Owen Hart's just really good. The 4K and Pat Tanaka were really good. They were just solid doing what they'd done, and the anvil was there.
Yeah, he took a couple of tags and did the rocket launcher, which is a very discombobulated move.
Yeah, and do you know one thing that I was thinking of in this match as well is, like, obviously Bret Hart had moved on from the anvil, so the anvil was kind of lost without a tag team partner.
Yeah,
and obviously said, let's put him with Owen. And I just think to myself, did that do Owen any favors, or was it for Neidhart? Was it who was the one who benefited out of that tag team, really?
I'll tell you what, it's both. I think that Vince McMahon loved Jim because he ended up keeping him on payroll and was even that mask guy named Who.
Yeah.
For a little bit. So look that up, folks. Yes, it's weird me saying Google Who, but that's a real thing. But yeah, it's just, we love Jim, and Andy loves his daughter too, very much so.
Yeah, the most overrated. She's another one, like a dad who just hangs around like a bad smell.
Who would you prefer to take on a date, her or Nyla Rose?
Where are we going?
You know what? Tell me what you would do for each one of those.
So Natalia, I'd take her to a firing range.
All right, folks, we're gonna go on, and we're gonna continue to go on with this. I was literally just asking for where she would go to eat, or where you would go to date her to, like, dinner or something like that. But we went.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Natalia is a good-looking girl. She is, but as an in-ring performer and a wrestler, she's shite. She's like the female. She's like the crap version of Cena. She has like the 4 moves of doom, but like the 4 crap moves.
So the next match is Roddy Piper versus the Mountie. Okay. Yeah. So the next match is Roddy Piper versus the Mountie. Okay.
Yeah. Can I just say one last thing? Is you don't expect to come across with a lot more. How much talent you think she's going to get from the testicles of Jim Neidhart? She even does that shit discus punch that he used to do.
I prepped for this show for about a week, and the last thing I really need to hear about is Jim Neidhart's testicles. And I'm trying to get to Roddy Piper, so I go from a hot rod to Neidhart's testicles to a hot rod.
Yeah. Okay. Well, last thing anyway. Jim Neidhart had testicles. Natalia's got chesticles. Let's move on.
It's true. And I'll tell you, her sister. It's where it's at. You should
Yeah,
check her out too.
Big E's
You'll
been
like
there,
her.
hasn't he?
Big E, has he?
Yeah.
Good. Hopefully he goes back there. He's thankful he dropped that title, so you know.
Yeah. Right,
Anyway.
Roddy Piper versus the Mountie. I really like this. Do you know what? This is the classic old wrestling style match of, well, this whole storyline's a classical wrestling style match. They wanted to protect Hart because Hart obviously had something going on at the time or whatever, so they protected him. They didn't want obviously Roddy to go and beat Brett, so they had a nice little heel to be the champion in between, which was great. And then it got us to this match, yeah. I always hated Robbie Piper's finisher with the sleeper hold. I always thought it was a crap finisher, but
yeah, a lot of other people also had things like, you know, who was it? Sergeant Slaughter had the, you know, Cobra Clutch, you know, and they like things like that. The Sheik had something that was like that. The Camel Clutch as well, you know. So the sleeper is kind of, it's a very old school way to do things. You know, you don't really see that too often. Although you had the Hurt Lock, you know, and that's weird thing.
It's the old Warlords for Nelson.
Yeah, or Chris Masters, have you? Remember the Master Lock Challenge? That was a pretty cool thing.
Yeah.
You know, until he started putting on people like Taz and stuff, then it's just weird. But I like the match. I like Jakujo. I like the way that he moves. I like the way that he wrestles. And both of these guys had a very old school kind of catch can type of feel as far as the way that they grab and embrace. Just take a look at the way they interact and go into the ropes, and you'll see what I mean. You know, it's just a really classic way on how to work. So,
and they didn't have hit each other as well. You could see they were laying in lumps, the pair of them.
Yeah, and by all means, I mean, you know, we know the story about the Mountie himself facing beating up, or however you want to call it. What's his face? Dynamite Kid. You know, that remains, you know, that's a story with so many different angles, but he was a tough guy, you know, and he was also able to talk to Hulk Hogan for taking a pin in his retirement match.
Yeah,
that's impressive. I'm sure Hogan will lie about that too. So good match though. It was a fun match. It's short, it's 5 minutes 22 seconds, but it did what it had to. All right, and it's a good way to see Jimmy Hart there. So love Piper. Well, you know, in a more important match, you and I could go into how amazing he was as a person. But you know, other than that, solid match. So
it was solid. And one thing I do want to mention is back in this type of era as well, is I love the way WWE done title changes on house shows, because you know, the fact is you might not get them all the time. I get once in a while and a little bit and bobs, but with stuff like this, it always makes you feel like going to an event. It could happen. Something could happen where nowadays you just you know for a fact they're never going to do nothing off TV, and it's just a bit, you know, makes you not want to go to these kinds of live events that are not Raw or SmackDown tapings and whatnot.
It definitely affects ticket sales. It definitely affects ticket sales. I mean, the last house show I went to was in 2014 or 2015. I think 2014. And then prior to that was 2003.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I got, you know, I only got the tickets for cheap anyway. That's why I went. But it was just, I don't know, like for the fact that they actually had Roddy Piper win, the Mountie win at a house show, it makes you want to go. And that's what happened with Diesel. Diesel won the belt at a house show in 7 seconds against Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a big deal. That was a huge deal, because you woke up, you turned on the TV, you go, oh, Bob Backlund, the fantastic heel, lost the title 3 days after holding it. So, you know, not saying they should do that all the time, but still.
That's it. They shouldn't do it all the time, but you've got to give somebody a chance to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, there's 10 title changes you didn't know what happened to house shows,
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, Make it
Yeah.
happen, or make a number one contender match there or something like that. You can deal with that.
Bret Hart versus Ric Flair, 1992, October 12th. It's only ever changed hands on a house show twice, and that was Bob Backlund and Bret Hart.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, that's because Flair went to WCW at that point too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for contractual reasons. He was on his way out. He did everything he had to do to prove that he was the best. We'll see that later on.
You got Miz and Morrison beat Kofi Kingston and CM
For
Punk.
the tag.
Yeah.
That was in, what was that? 08, I believe, right?
Yeah. 2016, Shinsuke beat Samoa Joe for the NXT title.
Wow. Okay.
Another one here for the NXT. We've got Samoa Joe versus Finn Balor. Edge beat Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental Championship, 1999, July 24th.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it is a good one. Shawn Michaels versus Marty Jannetty for the IC title. HBK beat Marty Jannetty.
Oh, for the title.
Yeah.
Okay. Was that at Hammerstein? Not Hammerstein. Was that at Rose? Was that at Ballroom in Manhattan?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Mickie James beat Victoria and Melina. And then we've got the Mountie and Mountie and Bret Hart. And then number one, we've got Christian versus Booker T Intercontinental Championship.
How about this? You remember when they nullifying the tag titles when the top rope broke?
Ah, with the Rockers.
Yeah. There you go. You know,
that's
so
but
there's,
as you say,
there's a few
there's been a few of them, but I say we need to see more.
Exactly. You know, keep the intrigue here.
WWE done 1 or 2 title changes at house shows in the next couple of months, then I'm sure it'd really gain interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both anything could happen here, you know. Right, okay. So the next we've got the Beverly Brothers with Leaping Lanny Poffo, the Genius. Defeated the Bushwhackers, Luke and Buff with Jameson. Who on earth is Jameson?
Okay, so Jameson was this comedy improv guy that Vince McMahon saw somewhere at a club and said, "This guy's funny. I like it. Can you do fart jokes?" And Jameson basically is just one of those improv guys and saw him and then took him under his wing.
Oh, I thought he was like a big American institute or something. Like
I swear to God, he is not. I swear to God, he is not. No, he just dressed like one. He was a nerd, and they put him with. They used a valet with the Bushwhackers, which I'm sure they know they did the right thing by not being a heel team as the sheep herders, and said, "You know what? Let's do it for the kids." And the Bushwhackers. And believe it or not, I think this might be the first time you and I have ever discussed a Bushwhacker match on this show.
Yeah. And you know what was hilarious? And I thought it wouldn't really go well in 2022 or 2021, or even 2022, doesn't matter. Is when they walk into the ring, and I think on 3 occasions Luke licks these kids in the face. So walks over.
Yeah. Or how about the gimmick battle royal when they lick Gene Okerlund's head, and Gene says, "Hey, you got my hair wet," and then Heenan goes, "Oh, both of them."
Brilliant. I miss Bobby Heenan. He was brilliant. And you know what? Just a side note: how good was Bobby Heenan through this whole program?
He is my epic. He is my epic for this episode.
Yeah,
he was amazing. The whining, the bickering, the sweating for Flair because he was the manager with Henning. I loved it. I thought he was fantastic.
He was constantly like, "Where's Flair? Where is? Oh, there he is. He's still in."
Yeah. No. That's all you'd hear.
Well, on this one, let's get out the way. The Beverly Bros defeated the Bushwhackers. Nothing really to see here.
This was a shit match. 15 minutes of dog shit.
Yeah, I think this is what Bruce Pritchard calls a let me up match.
Yeah, yeah.
that they put on before they go into another one. And then, quite strangely, really, to put this just before the Royal Rumble, but you know, it is what it is. Natural disasters versus Legion of Doom, and Legion of Doom, they did Earthquake and Typhoon won by count out. Now, just a real point on this. One thing I've noticed, and I've watched recently a lot of Legion of Doom matches in the WWF, how bloody scripted are they, and how is that the same? Hawk gets battered, Animal makes the hot tag. Like it just seems like the same, and then he did that running chop block.
Have you ever seen anybody that looked like them prior?
No.
You and I talked about attractions. You and I talked about spots. Now we look at a guy like Brian Cage. Brian Cage does how many moves, right? He's got to do backflips. He's got to do this. He's got to do that. Okay, when he's performing. And it's the same. It's a laundry list of stuff. The Legion of Doom had a couple of different basics that they did, but man, you heard the crowd. Okay. And this is how you sell and you market them. Kids in the shoulder pads, wearing them outside, face paint. There's reasons why you had guys like Sting. This, you know, that did the same thing with him and Ultimate Warrior. You know, and we just saw it right now. Not that face paint's something new, but everything's to pay homage for them, man. Like, I understand what you're saying, but that's money. That is money for them, you know, and it's just these certain spots. I mean, look at Animal. I feel like, you know, all he would do, he would probably just, you know, if he would kiss a baby, he'd probably eat it. That's how tough of a guy he is.
Yeah, as you say, I just think like watching the Legion of Doom matches just seem like it's always that set out way of them doing a match, and that's it.
Yeah, but the same thing with Hogan, you know, hulking up, man.
I suppose it's just in this time and in this kind of way, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
this time.
Yeah, I mean, I was a natural disaster fan. I showed you videos of my son, you know, squirming like like Earthquake, our boy.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know what else I noticed as well is the Legion of Doom kind of formula for a match was pretty similar to the Hart Foundation as well. Where Bret would get beat up, Powerhouse comes in, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, they couldn't figure that out with Pride and Powerful, right? Or not Proud and Powerful. Who was it? With Hercules Hernandez.
Power and Glory.
Yeah, Power and Glory. They didn't know who's who because they both were kind of like the same size, but one had a beard.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to our Royal Rumble. We had Jack Tunney, who was quite active around this time, wasn't he?
Yes, the Snake, Jack Tunney, getting booed.
Granted, the previous Survivor Series, he come in and stripped the title off Undertaker, hadn't he, and whatnot.
Yeah. So the dirty cheating bastard.
So anyway, he come in here and nearly fucked his lines up. But anyway,
what was he? Was he like Jim Herd, but not owning a pizzeria company?
So apparently, he owns a wrestling company in Canada. And then WWE used to do work. So then they took him on, and he was the owner of, he was the runner of the Canadian booking office for him. And then for whatever reason, they started using him.
Would it have been Stampede?
Don't think he owns the Canadian Stampede.
Well, no, he wouldn't have owned Stampede because that's Stu Hart. But would he have had an affiliation with them?
No, I'm sure he had his own one. Or was he working for the commission over there?
I don't know. He just looks like that miserable old man that wouldn't give you a ball back if you hit it onto his yard.
Right. So he promoted all over the Southern Ontario. The offices were in Maple Leaf Gardens for many years. So,
you know what?
Yeah, led to the WWF being formed.
You an Indiana Jones fan?
Yes.
Do you remember in the Holy Grail one, when the Last Crusade, whichever one it was? I'm thinking of Monty Python now. You remember? He looks like he's midway through drinking through the wrong cup. But if you look at Jack Tunney, he's like, oh, I chose poorly, but then chose wisely. So I'm stopping here.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyway, he was the one that made the title for title match. So Jack Tunney, thank you for coming.
So here we go. So when the promotion was war seals up between Crockett and Vince McMahon, Crockett felt he could no longer spare his top wrestlers for shows in Toronto, sending his B team as attendance to the Gardens plummeted. Crockett's relationship with the promotion had been strained. He held a distrust of Tunney, who personally utilised talents from other promotions, including the WWF. So, yeah, basically what happened was Jack decided he no longer wanted to promote Cole with a mix of WWF, NWA, and aligned himself with Vince McMahon and promoted only WWF cards north of the border, thus making the Toronto one of the first former NWO strongholds to jump to WWF.
Jeez. Okay.
So that's how that become on anyway. But I believe he fell out with. Yeah, because he's not even in the thing, is he?
No,
he's still not in there.
I think he's still living.
He's living. No, Tunney's dead.
No, Tunney's living with Tupac and Elvis on the same island.
But it says here that he's not being in the. He has a fallout with McMahon in 1989, which is why he left. In 1995, that's when he left WWE. So, F.
What do you think? What do you think that argument was about?
The fucking God knows. Maybe it was because he got his mates mixed up in this one. But it's interesting with Jack Tunney, though. We felt like he was, part of it, wasn't he? For a while, he was the first ever on-screen authority.
Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, they just didn't throw Cialis into his contract. So,
it's all been downhill since he's gone. Like, well,
it really has. I read a shirt the other day that said, "Ever since Prince died, everything's been fucked up." It's true.
I know.
All right, so to the Royal Rumble, Tunney introduces the real winner. Will be the WWE champ. I'm sorry, the world champion at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Big news happening. Ric Flair comes with the NWA title, which I will admit I was dumb and I had no idea. I was like, why is it blurred out? Because I thought that legally we had the rights to actually showing that, or the WWE had rights to showing that. They did not. So when I reviewed it, I actually asked Conrad and he told me the whole story. Not kidding you. Conrad Thompson told me. So that was pretty funny. And then everybody goes, oh, I can't believe you fucking didn't know that. Well, sorry, I don't know law. Okay. So anyway, this is for the title. This is probably the first time this happened. And we have the first two entrants is going to be the British Bulldog and Ted DiBiase. Okay. And they come in, and oddly enough, Ted DiBiase gets thrown out right away, which is very weird because he was a big, huge heel.
Yeah.
So who comes out number 3? Ric Flair. If you listen to Bobby Heenan throughout this whole broadcast, it is incredible because Bobby Heenan is saying how this is ridiculous. As a manager of Ric Flair, he's been screwed over. He wants repercussions to be paid. So obviously it's a little bit of limits. Prior to this match, they showed Lord Alfred Hayes, by the way, incredible, just amazing. Lord Alfred Hayes speaks with Ric Flair. He says, Mr. Flair, and this is a Coliseum home video exclusive.
Boss.
Wasn't that good? Come on. I sounded like one of you guys.
Yeah.
Just flow with it, bro. So and Ric Flair says, I'm number 3. I know I have a lot to do. And just it's awesome. Comes in, goes right into it with British Bulldog. Andy, who are the next few entrants?
So after that, we had Jerry Saggs, Haku, both eliminated by British Bulldog, Shawn Michaels, Tito Santana, Barbarian, Texas Tornado, and Repo Man. With all the top 10. Do you want to go from there?
Yeah, absolutely. So just to recap right there. So you had a lot of heels going on in there, but I remember there was times after they beat up a good guy, like let's say the British Bulldog, you know, they would all of a sudden attack Flair. So it was kind of funny. It was kind
You
of
know,
like they
do
had
you
a
know what
mini
makes
vendetta.
do you know what makes me laugh on this one is Shawn Michaels was eliminated by Tito Santana, and then Tito Santana was eliminated by Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Once again, we have to put up the Spider-Man meme where it's like this. They're pointing at each other like, hey.
Yeah. As I say, I don't mind that too much because Shawn was the heel.
You could tell they had high hopes for Shawn.
Yeah, and there's something else I'll go on to in a little bit further detail a little bit later on about another elimination that made me scratch my head, but that just shows WWF, even at this time, making the rules up as they went along. So anyway, number 11, we had Greg Valentine, and number 12, Nikolai Volkov. They were both knocked out by the Repo Man.
Yeah. So Barry Darso, I guess, always kept getting pushed. And you know, even as somebody that needs to repossess things, he repossessed those two.
Yeah, Big Boss Man, Hercules, Roddy Piper, Jake Roberts, Jim Duggan, IRS, Jimmy Snuka, and The Undertaker make up the top 20.
So let's just point out how incredible the next top 10 are.
Yes.
Let's just put out there. Okay, IRS. Obviously, he had better days in WCW, in World Class Championship Wrestling. Yeah. You know, in Varsity Club stuff. Okay.
And
Jim Duggan.
Talking about testicles, his testicles have had a lot of success.
Would you say that though? I guess, yeah, and Bo, but at the same time, it's like, well,
yeah, Bo was the dribble.
Bo, no, he's not. He's with Liv Morgan, and he's with Liv Morgan right now, and he is loving his real estate business.
Yeah.
So anyway, so in there, yeah, Big Boss Man, Roddy Piper comes right out. There was a point where the whole screen was cleared. You had just Flair in there, and who comes out? Roddy Piper. They have unsettled business. It's a wonderful time. As soon as Piper gets in there, he spins around in excitement and beats the crap out of Ric Flair.
Yeah.
The ring starts piling up again, a la every single Royal Rumble again, and you start getting the main event attractions. Jake Roberts, Jim Duggan, IRS, Snuka, Undertaker. It's a who's who. I hate Jimmy Snuka. I hate him with a passion. I think he's a very horrendous man, and he should probably be banned from any type of list. And I don't think WWE should even make mention of him anymore. But at this time, this is even the heyday of his career. At this time, still getting over through people. So, you know, you have to give the people what they want. Yeah. But just an amazing list. So,
and then the top 10. Some names in here. Randy Savage, which, by the way, Randy Savage comes running out, attacks Jake Roberts, eliminates Jake Roberts, then eliminates himself, but then gets back in the ring, and it was like, but nobody touched him. So it's not classed as an elimination.
If that was the case, Mil Mascaras would still be in the Royal Rumble of 1996 and should have been the winner.
Oh, it's unbelievable that. It's just like,
we've heard, you know, you and I have heard some good stories about Mil Mascaras. You know, besides the plane ticket from Arezzi. You know, but the Mil Mascaras, I love the fact that he purposely took himself out of the Royal Rumble so he could say that nobody eliminated him. Yeah. What a fucking guy, huh? That's amazing.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't believe that one was meant, because if you look, it was, I think it was Bobby Heenan's going, well, he's eliminated. And then he goes, and then Gorilla pops in and goes, oh, no, nobody eliminated, so he must be still in the match. And Bobby, he must be. So I think they probably have Vince in the ear go, no, he's still in the match. He's still in the match.
Oh, yeah. No, they definitely, they flip-flop these rules. Do you remember, maybe we go over it. I'm not sure of the other years that we're going to be doing, but Vader came into a Royal Rumble, and after he was eliminated, knocked the shit out of everybody else. And then they allowed them to go back in. I think that was 95. 95. Yeah, 95. So,
okie doke. So the rest of our top 10s, the Berserker, Virgil, Colonel Mustafa, Rick Martel, Hulk Hogan, Skinner, Sergeant Slaughter, Sid Justice, and number 30, the Warlord.
Who was eliminated quite quickly, correct?
Yes, he was in 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Yes, correct. So, no, how come it's saying 1 minute, 43 seconds? Isn't that when he came in and got booted out? I think that's 1 minute, 43 seconds left in the match, right?
No.
Something's up here.
That's elimination time.
Ah, okay. So
that was his time in the match. But don't forget, they've probably included his entrance in that. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. It probably took him a while to walk to the ring, didn't he?
Yeah, Harvey Whippleman had to show him the way too.
I'm going to be really on the fence here, you know, and I'm probably going to be very controversial. Ric Flair was shit. Ric Flair was not this. When I'm watching him here and he's got his saggy man boobs getting slapped in them, and it was just like, Ric Flair was not the be-all and end-all like he seems to think he was.
He knew how to work, though. Like, I'm watching him, and he just made everybody else look better. We talk about how Charlotte does not elevate talent. He does. The guy goes out there. He made everybody that he interacted with.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. Even with him with the belt, he just didn't look like he should have had the belt to me. I don't know whether that was because I was programmed WWF style at that age. Do you know what I mean? But it's just he just didn't look right with it. Do you know what I mean? Even Bret Hart looked more at home with the belt than he did.
Yeah, well, thankfully they had guys like that, so they didn't have the beefy steroid guys when they would come in and talk about that. I mean, think they were in that trial, so they needed to be like, "Hey, look at our champion now. He's like Adam Cole." Thankfully they had guys like Bret Hart. Yeah. But I mean, look at you want to talk about size? Okay, Flair was just smarter than everybody else and kept himself healthy throughout this whole match. You need that stamina, believe it or not. Yeah. But come on. I mean, Colonel Mustafa nearly, croaked on the way to the ring too. Which we all know who that is, folks.
Cheeky baby.
Yeah. Skinner, another name that you forget about, but it's kind of funny. Just the Gator Man himself. And then the shit ending, which just goes to show you how much of a piece of garbage that Hulk Hogan is with the dumbest, it's sad because this was one of my favorite Royal Rumbles, and yet at the same time, the ending was just such garbage.
It really was. And you know what? It didn't do Hogan any favors either. Because it's like, oh, I'm not going to win, so you're not going to win. Do you know what I mean? It's like kind of brat behavior, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, done it. It's not the kind of fitting for the whole Hulk Hogan style that you come to see.
Yeah, no, look. You know what it is? Years ago, we were playing Mario Party at my friend's house. Okay, my friend Eric's house, right? And his brother, he's got a twin brother, so we're playing. And Mario Party, Alex stole Eric's star. So Eric and I went to go get Taco Bell. I said, "Do you get anything for your brother?" He goes, "Fuck him." So we come back, and Alex goes, "What about my order?" He goes, "Fuck you. You steal my star, I steal your Taco Bell." Eric was Hulk Hogan at that point. Because you know what? You're not going to have fun, so I'm going to take your fun away from you. Yeah. This is what you do to me. And Hulk Hogan just all about himself.
Yeah, and then obviously when Hogan pulled and Flair comes behind, lifts over Justice.
With the worst flip I've ever seen.
Yeah. He's just thinking of his baseball season.
Softball. I keep telling you.
Well, I don't know the difference. It's both bloody whatever.
It's overhand. Braun Strowman's dad was a pro softball player, by the way. So he probably made about $13,000 a year.
Oh God. I think we call it rounders over here for softball.
It's fine. You know what? Look, any type of sport where the bar is 5 feet away, I'm for. So that's fine with me.
Well, yeah, we had Ric Flair as a champion. He wouldn't be champion long, would he? But this gives him the accolade that he wanted, and I think he realized very quickly that he wasn't the big fish anymore. and that's why he did leave WWF after a cup of tea, didn't he?
Of course. And the sad part is that they wanted that Hogan and Flair match, but instead we had to have Hogan versus Sid Justice, which was just very artificial. And you had Macho Man, good for him, winning the title. But the problem is that you're not facing, like, this is not really the match that should have been set up. I would have liked to have seen Macho Man and Sid, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because you would have gotten a better match. If you watch Sid versus Hogan and you see the Ultimate Warrior botched run-in, actually, the run-in was technically botched by Papa Shango, but I don't even think he messed up. I think somebody just didn't fucking tell him to go.
Yeah, that's what he says, yeah.
Yeah, so, but, some of these WrestleManias in the Hogan ladder days are just really weird. Really weird. And here's another one right here, man, where they set up for it.
No. Right. All right. Well, that was that year, January 1992. What did you think of it as a whole?
I loved it. Low points, Bushwhacker Jameson. The actual ending elimination of Sid Justice. I will say this, high points was just seeing how pissed off Macho Man was at Jake the Snake. Yeah. And Bobby Heenan throughout the whole night, and Gorilla Monsoon trying to calm him down. Just you want authenticity. We talk about feel, and that's what you got from both of those guys.
Yeah,
you're gonna find that from people like Pat McAfee, Corey Graves to an extent now, Jim Ross still a little bit, and even Taz right now to this day. You're gonna find that
Jim Ross, when he likes something, if he doesn't like it, he's not gonna be behind it.
If you could hear eye rolls, you could hear it when he's watching AEW, folks, and it's loud and clear.
Yeah.
So what about your thoughts on the pay-per-view?
Low spot's probably the same as yourself. That Jameson, don't know who the bloody hell he is. And the finish for me was a bit bad. High points, I'd say the same, Bobby Brain. And also, one of my high points was the vignettes before the Royal Rumble kicked off.
Absolutely.
All the different superstars. I just thought they were just of why they're going to win the Rumble, what they're going to bring to it. And I just thought that was awesome.
Classic backdrop. Yeah. These were supplanted not only before the pay-per-view, but right before the Rumble match. Just fantastic stuff.
And also the theme music as well.
Yeah.
And then classic Royal Rumble song.
You hear Vince McMahon, welcome everybody.
I love it, absolutely love it. Well, guys, that was our year, 1992, January 1992. We're going to be doing a lot of Januaries, obviously, over the next coming weeks. So make sure if there's anything that you want to see us do, get it in the comments section. Let us know. We might even run a poll on Twitter. I think we try and get some people more involved in it. So, let us know what you want. And guys, thanks so much for all your support last year. And we hope you continue to support us and watch us grow. Obviously, me and Dale are big, massive wrestling fans. And also, we're very active everywhere. We're active over on Wrestle Buddies channel, articles on the website, and also on our channel, we're going to be a lot more active as well. So make sure you come and see us wherever you go. And also, if you can't always watch us through YouTube, go over to Apple Music and check us out over there on the podcast over there, Apple, Spotify, and Anchor FM as well. But until next time, guys, from me and Dale, take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.